Hi guys, welcome to Daily Current Affairs and Reason program from Team Moonlight. Today we'll be looking into three topics. The first topic concerns prison reforms. We'll be looking into the key points concerning prison reforms and what are the suggestions regarding prison reforms by various committees. Then we'll also be looking into Financial Action Task Force. What are the key points? Especially we'll be looking into FATF grey list and FATF blacklist. As a third topic, we'll be looking into indigenous aircraft carrier. What are the key points concerning it, and what is the significance of having carrier-based fighting groups? Having more. The first topic that we are discussing today is concerning prison reforms. It was in news regarding overcrowding in prisons and which results in violation of prisoners' rights. Okay. So in this context, we'll be looking at the key points. Key points include that prisons and persons detained are a matter of state subject, and therefore are the responsibility of the state government. This is something we can get wrong. So you should know that prisons and persons detained are actually a state subject as per Indian Constitution Schedule 7. So they are the responsibility of state government. Article also mentions about pandemic times how it has led to increased COVID infection. Several hundreds of prisoners have been infected by COVID, and it has resulted in various deaths amongst prisoners. Article also says how overcrowding in prison is a violation of human right and fundamental right as per Article 21 of Indian Constitution. Then we have to look into what are the various issues concerning prison reforms. As we said, overcrowding is a major issue when it comes to prisons. The other major issue in the context of Indian prisons is the huge population of under trials. Under trial is basically a person who is undergoing trials and is yet to be found guilty. According to a report, more than 60% of prisoners in Indian jails are under trials. The second issue has been increasing detentions under preventive detention system, specifically invoking Public Safety Act. This has been primarily increasing, specifically in Jammu and Kashmir, where a lot of politicians. Then there have been increased the cause of concern. We have also the article also talks about increasing suicide rates and other unnatural deaths while people are still in prison, which is a huge cause of concern. The Act and laws on prison also mandate the appointment of law and welfare officers, which is not implemented in Indian prison. And there is a huge lack of welfare officers and so these are the key issues. Then we can look into various reforms suggested. One of the main prison reforms suggested is that access to legal aid as per DPSP Article 39A be made a fundamental right so that every prisoner has access to affordable legal aid. Another important suggestion, even by NALSA, has been regarding unified prison management system. This has been mainly suggested by NALSA. It says that a prison management system be unified and be made online so that it can be better and effectively managed. Then another important suggestion is concerning capacity building of staff, as the staff in most cases do not know the right mechanism, right procedures for handling prisoners and their various issues. Focus on skill development. This is another important reform which is in line with the objective of detention. When we detain a prisoner, the objective is twofold: deterrence, formation. So, although there is a focus on deterrence, as detention automatically involves deterrence, however, focus should also go on reformation. So, prisoners should be given some kind of skill development while they are still in prison, so that they can be helped in their life after prison. Then, for having an effective criminal justice system, effective and fair criminal justice system, Reformation should also happen in the other two pillars of criminal justice system, that is judicial reforms and police reforms. So these are the second topic that we'll be discussing today is Financial Action Task Force. It has been in news because Pakistan has alleged that India is politicizing the FATF process in its favor. So we'll be looking at what are the key points in the context of this news and what are the key points in the context of FATF. See, Pakistan has been retained in the grey list of FATF countries. We'll look into what is a grey list, what it means to be in the grey list. What you have to know is the basics of basics and key points of FATF. FATF is basically an intergovernmental body established in 1989 by the initiative of G7 countries. Its aim is primarily to institute measures to combat money laundering and terrorist financing, also all the other threats that face the international financial and monetary system. Its members include 39 members, including two regional associates and Gulf Cooperation Council. You should know that India is a member. Secretariat is located in Paris at the headquarters of OECD. FATF plenary. What is FATF plenary? It is the highest decision 3 times every year. Then FATF grey list. It is basically a list of countries which come under increased monetary jurisdictions. So basically, when a country is included within a grey list, it is given a warning and it is given a checklist of reforms or actions that it has to undertake to be removed from the grey list. Pakistan has been in grey list for a couple of years now. FATF blacklist. This involves sanctions against the countries involved. These are high-risk jurisdictions that are not cooperating when it comes to terrorist financing and money laundering. And two countries have been in the blacklist for a while now. North Korea and Iran are two countries which are under FATF blacklist. There is another important organization, regional organization, which is an associate member. It is Eurasian Group on combating money laundering. India is a member. You can read more about it. And again, nodal body in India, ED, Enforcement Directorate, is the primary nodal body in India for all actions concerning Financial Action Task Force. So these are the key points that you have to know about FATF in the context of prelims. But from the context of mains, you have to know what is moving on. The third topic that we'll be discussing today is indigenous aircraft carrier. It has been news because Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has announced that the first indigenous aircraft carrier will be commissioned by next year as part of 75th year of independence. So what are the key points? The first Indian aircraft carrier has been built, first indigenous aircraft carrier has been built at Cochin Shipyard and is undergoing sea trials. The article also talks about Project Seabird, which involves creation of the largest naval infrastructure in the country, a naval base in the western coast of India, in Karnataka. Then you should know that the first Indian aircraft carrier, indigenous aircraft carrier, is to be named Vikrant after the very first aircraft carrier that India had and was decommissioned several years ago, which was named Vikrant. So, in memory of the first aircraft carrier, the first indigenous aircraft carrier will also be named Vikrant. The said carrier will include platforms such as fighter jets, MiG-29K, helicopters including ALH, Advanced Light Helicopters, and M60 from maritime multi-role helicopters from US, SAM, surface-to-air missiles such as Barak LR-SAM, then electronic the only active aircraft carrier in service is INS Vikramaditya, which was a carrier obtained and refurbished after obtaining from Russia. There are also plans for creation of another indigenous aircraft carrier, which will be bigger and more potent weapon. It is still in discussion phase. You should know this. In this context, what is the mains aspect? In the mains aspect, you should know what is the significance of having carrier battle groups (CBGs). See, carrier battle groups are primarily important for projecting military force and maritime force away from our shores. This is important primarily because of two active aircraft carriers and is currently building more. So, for ensuring peace and tranquility in the Indo-Pacific region, India needs more CBGs. That's a main perspective. You can give the needs, suggestions, etc. That's all from today's news. With more news articles.